concert ends, the room empties, and then you wonder what actually lasts. By 2007, the concert had grown into something real. There was momentum, recognition, bigger audiences. And I found myself asking a question I hadn't really thought about before. What does any of this mean over time? Not just the night of the concert, not the applause, but years later. What actually stays? What actually matters? Around that time, I was living in Los Angeles, working and meeting people in the film world, being around success in a very visible way, and it was exciting. It's easy to get caught up in that, the next project, the next opportunity, the next step forward. But there's something subtle that also happens. You start to realize those things don't last very long. A premiere ends, a project finishes, people move on, and you're left asking yourself, what remains after all that? At the same time, I was still going to the hospital, still playing music with kids in the playroom. Still seeing kids and families going through really hard times, healing, connecting with them through music and conversations and writing songs together. I'm not a doc, I'm just a friend in the playroom, and we hang out and write songs. And many of those kids, well, actually more of their parents, they just need someone to sit down with them and listen to what they're going through. And those moments felt different. They weren't about achievement, they were about connection, about presence, about being there for someone. And I started to notice these moments stayed with me much longer. And they mattered more in my life. We often think of legacy as something big, something public, something important people remember you for. But I started to see it differently. Legacy isn't just what you build, it's how you connect with people, the way you show up, the way you treat others, the moments you create with them, because those are the things that ripple outward long after the moment itself is gone. That year shifted something. It made me feel less about what I was building and more about what I was leaving behind. Not in some distant future, but in the small, everyday ways. The way a conversation lingers, the way a moment stays with someone, the way a connection changes how someone feels. That's legacy too. My friend Susan was instrumental in helping me grow these concerts, and she did it in her own way by vouching for me and introducing me to her friends Ann and Nancy Wilson of Heart, and then connecting Alice in Chains and I as they were rebuilding their band after Lane passed. Those iconic rock bands from Seattle launched our concert series in an incredible way. We sold out the concert and the crowd was electric that year. The performances were electric. It was so exciting. Ann and Nancy were recording with Elton John that year, so they wanted to do 2 Elton John covers, and they were just stunning. Ann's voice is a show all in and of itself. And Nancy was one of my favorite collaborators. She was so involved in my orchestrations and truly, deeply cared about this music. And I also probably had a rock goddess crush on her as well. It was my 10th concert, and I wanted to do something special and something different and something tough to scare the shit out of myself. So I conducted our encore performance, which was Alice in Chains backed by the Northwest Symphony Orchestra performing Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, which was epic. I mean, I had never conducted before in my life. I felt like I was hovering about this far off the podium, not even standing on it. The energy from the band, from the orchestra, from the massive choir, hundreds of musicians with all their effort, passion, and emotion. It just laid the audience out. It was unforgettable. And that idea, what actually lasts, it stayed in the background. But the next year, my focus shifted again towards something broader, a bigger sense of identity. In 2008, I wrote An American Symphony.